Okay, so I thought I'd try and do a little video on how to calibrate the SimJack pedals in DIView software. So this is basically a Windows calibration, so you can then use the pedals with simulators such as RaceRoom, rFactor 2, etc., etc. iRacing doesn't need this because it uses the raw data from the pedals itself. But so if you're using iRacing, you don't need to do this. But if you are using any other simulator, you do need a Windows calibration. So this is DIView. Comes with the pedals, or you can download it with the pedals. And the first thing you need to do is just make sure that you're only looking at the devices that you want to actually calibrate. Now, at the moment, it's got a few different devices in for me. I'm using an old G29 gear shifter and things as button boxes, so it's picking up on all those. So first thing you do is go into Edit and Settings, and then just disconnect or deselect anything that doesn't relate to your SimJack pedals. So I'm going to turn off this, and if we look in here, I'm not sure what the different ones. I think Z rotation could be for something else, so I'm not too worried about that. So click on that one, click on OK, and now we just have SimJack pedals, X rotation, Z rotation, and Y rotation. And if I press, for example, the accelerator, we can see that moves. If I press the brake, this one moves, and if I press the clutch, this one moves. Now this is already calibrated, so when I press this now, I go from 0 to 100%, and the same with the brake, 0 to 100%, but normally they're not like that. So let me see if we can change this and see. So let's just do, okay, so first of all, let's do the accelerator, so this Y rotation. So if we right click and do calibration, we can see some numbers that we have here already because I've already calibrated this. So I'm going to click on Restore Defaults. So it's now non-calibrated. So when I click now, my movement is obviously much different. Okay, so I'm going to right click and do View Raw Data. And then what we get is we get the actual measurement and then the raw positioning as well. And it's the raw which is important in this case. So now we've got that. We click on right click again and click on calibration. Okay, so what we want to look at now is our minimum position. Now, based on the default calibration, the minimum position showing here is -32767. But if we look at our raw data for where our pedal actually is now, it's this number, -20211. Now we can change that a little bit just to make sure we've got a bit of a dead zone. But if we said now, let's make that to 20200, for example. Okay. If we press the pedal, we get our max raw position, and I'm pushing all the way down, and it's about, let's say 1600, but it's -1600 for the max. Now, one thing you can't do here is put in a minus sign. It doesn't like it. So what you can do is you can cut or copy and paste a minus sign in here. And what did we need? 1600 minus 1600. Okay, that's done. Now what we need to do now is also put in our center point. So we need to go into a calculator and say -2200 add -1600 equals -2180. If we divide that by 2, it gives us 10,900, so -10,900. So if we do again, we can just do a paste and then 10,900, click on OK. And what we can see now is if I press the pedal, we're now unlinked from the raw to the calibration. So now, all of a sudden, when I'm fully off the throttle, we're at 0%, and I push the throttle all the way to the end, we're at 100%. So that throttle pedal is now calibrated. So take that back off the raw data, and then we should have 0 to 100. Now what you can do in here, obviously, is you can tweak this a little to suit what you want to be able to do. So for example, minus 1600 might be, you might want to just put it to just before the end stop, which in this case would be about minus 2000. So you can change that a little if you wanted. And that way it's easier then to make sure that you are at 100%. Likewise, if the throttle is fluctuating at the bottom, you can make a little adjustment there as well. So now we've got full range with that brake, with the throttle pedal. Okay, right click and turn it off. So let's try clutch, same principle. So this is already calibrated. So I'm just going to go calibration, restore defaults, click on OK. And now I don't have full motion with the pedal. Right click, view raw data, and we need to make sure we calibrate to the raw data. So if we go into calibration, our minimum position, minus 2900. Okay, our maximum is about 15,500. No minus in this one. And then what we need to do is the middle point here as well. So minus 2900, add 15,500 equals, divide that by 2, 6,300. So 6300, click on OK. And now we have 0% clutch when I'm not pressing it, all the way through, nice and smooth, all the way to the end, 100% clutch. Now again, you could short calibrate this if you wanted. So if you wanted the clutch to bite and engage at the top of the stroke rather than at the bottom, just go into your calibration, and for your max, you could set that maybe around 10,000. Click on OK, and then there's a big jump because we haven't set the midpoint. So as we get to a certain point on the pedal, we accelerate the actual clutch and it makes sure it goes all the way through. If we wanted it to be linear, we could basically just take the center point of these two numbers and change the center point, and then we get a linear stroke all the way through there as well. In this case, I don't need to do that. Okay, so that's clutch pedal calibrated. Next, brake pedal. So at the moment, oh, wrong foot, this is calibrated. So let's do view raw data, and you can see what's happening there. And let's go into calibration, restore defaults, and then same principle. So when we are not pressing the brake, we're at about minus 1,700. So we add that number in, minus 17,800. When we push to maximum, we're somewhere around 200 maybe. Don't want to go too far. Oh no, it's a bit more. It's probably about 500. Okay, so again we need to find the center point. Let's clear this. So minus 17,800. add 500 equals this, divide that by 2, equals negative 8,650. So I'm just going to copy and paste this because we need the minus sign. And then edit this to say 8650. Click on OK. And now we're at 0% when I'm not on the brake. Push the brake, keep going, keep going, keep going. And then we're all the way up when I'm pushing as hard as I possibly can at 100%. So that's the brake then calibrated also as well. Now there are other tools in here such as Dead Zone, which I haven't experimented with yet. I've not needed to. And I think some of the sims also allow you to do that as well. But that's basically the process that you go through to calibrate the pedals. It's not documented anywhere that I can find. It's not a particularly difficult process once you've done it a few times. And that should mean that when you then load the pedals into any other sim other than iRacing, you have a Windows calibration for the pedals, and they should work. So let me know how you get on. Any problems, let me know. And good luck. Bye.